And that, my friends, is why Dexter is the best show ever, while Breaking Bad falls a bit flat, actually. Sykes! No, come back, you fuckers! It's insulted my audience now. I wonder if they'll come back. So, since the past 2 weeks, 2 endings have come out, and without spoiling anything, one was good and one was crap. Someone died. Okay, yes, this video will contain spoilers, so brace yourself. So, in the red corner we have Breaking Bad. You're so kind, those were the words from Vince. And in the blue corner, full of lies, just like taking the blue pill, we have Dexter. So I've pretty much spoiled my opinions on Dexter. So the problem I saw with the later part of Dexter, you know, season 5 and onwards, was that they had different writers come in after season 4, and it seemed that the writers stopped caring a lot about the originality of Dexter and started throwing their own crap ideas in and started recycling other ideas that had come before it and started presenting other shows besides from Dexter, so kind of the writing budget kind of went somewhere else instead of to where most of the fans had already originated. So seasons 1 till 4 had, you know, many fresh ideas as Dexter just kind of overcame a lot of obstacles coming towards him, such as Arthur and the ice truck killer. And then they just end up using these same ideas again. Just after Rita dies, he has this new girlfriend, but then she leaves, as we can all predict, and that's made it seem like such a pointless season to begin with. They could have just skipped the entire season except for the first episode, because the first episode was really good when it showed Dexter's rage, although he kind of killed out of his code, because easily someone would have traced back to that and said, oh yeah, Dexter, you tried not to get caught, but you didn't wear any gloves and you just killed him in the back of somewhere, probably in the middle of nowhere, but someone could have found you. And season 2 I think was one of the best seasons of Dexter. It was basically season 2 and season 4, while season 1 was basically in a close second place, because Dokes was a good guy, pretty much. He was a dick, but he was a good guy. And he wanted to chase down Dexter because he thought something was up. And how right he was. That kind of put a lot of twists and turns on a lot of different things when it came to how Dexter is going to deal with Dokes because he doesn't kill innocent people and other stuff like that. You know, for the rest of Dexter, it just became the same problem. You start off with a good first episode, and then it just gets boring. You just drag it out. And then you use characters, abuse characters, then dispose of characters. There's not really any point in keeping those characters or even inventing them in the first place. And then you get Brian back on the show, and he's only there for 1 episode. But however, the finale of season 6 and season 7 both were very climactic. It was just like, holy shit, what's gonna happen next? First one, season 7's opening, was really good with, you know, Dexter wondering if Deb is actually going to find out, and to be honest, she does, and Dexter doesn't really hide his knives and stuff that well. The thing that bothered me so much about season 7, besides from Hannah McKay kind of disrupting the story a little bit and kind of them going off their original purpose, was the fact that when Maria finds the blood slide, 2 seasons have already passed. And those seasons themselves were full of kind of like things that didn't take the story any forward than it should have, really. I'd probably say about all of the later 4 seasons that season 7 was probably the best one. I didn't like season 6, I didn't like season 5, I thought season 6 was a bit stupid with that whole plot twist thing. And season 7 like had quite a general purpose. The thing that bothered me as well was that Dexter kind of, you know, falling for love sort of thing, kind of humanizes his character a bit too much. I mean, it's good to see that Dexter is kind of humanizing a bit too much and like he's hurting people around him, which you kind of getting better grips on, but at the same time, this level is kind of like weakening his character. So with an epic ending of season 7 where Deb shoots Maria, it goes into 3 months later in season 8, kind of a weird time gap, but okay, and we see Deb drugged up and part of an agency. Fair enough, it's kind of a different twist and turn, and kind of, I suppose it makes sense in a way. And Dexter's trying to find out what's going on, and Dexter gets these infused things because people are blaming him for stuff, and you know, that kind of goes away very quick. Dexter has these weird like anger, blind rage sort of things, but then it just goes after the first episode, and it's like, what are they doing? And I said this in the first video I did about Dexter, about Joey and Jamie. I mean, it did get pointless after a while. It's just kind of like made time to create side plots for other characters, which is something Dexter didn't always do. If they did have side plots, they would link into the main story somehow. Like Lila, for example. She may have like been kind of a side love life for Dexter, but ended up, you know, doing Dokes. Yeah, she did Dokes in a killing kind of way. And Dexter kind of had to kill her. So, more than half the season to finally reveal who was the true brain surgeon. Or I like to call him brain licker, because that's a bit more funny. And Zach Hamilton as well, 2 episodes or 3. And it didn't serve much purpose. So, you use him, abuse him, just like what I mentioned. Evelyn Vogel was quite an interesting one, where I was on about, oh, she knows who Dexter is, and pretty much is she going to be his enemy, his ally, or something like that. But it turns out she helps Dexter in finding himself, but not good enough if he still runs back to Hannah. The finale is really what's important here. Now, based on the performance of the actual brain surgeon, I think it was a very kind of sinister but working kind of performance that the actor was given. You know, they get good actors and they hardly use them. And it's weird how the episode before that actually turns out to be better than the episode that they actually showed for the finale. Because it's just like really tense, like what's gonna happen with Hannah and what's gonna happen with Deb and what's gonna happen with brain surgeon, how's he gonna get away? So Deb's in hospital and somehow that puts her into a vegetative state where she becomes brain dead, which is basically the writer's way of saying, fuck you, we made you feel Deb was important, but in the end, we don't think Deb's important, so suck on it. The scenes in the airport, probably the best scenes, to be honest. Dexter and Daniel in this police station is a bit of a weird scene because pretty much kills him with the pen, kind of gets up casually in front of the CCTV camera and presses the button. Yeah, I did that for self-defense, but we don't care because he made Deb go brain dead. But at the same time, Joey, you're the same guy that kind of questioned everything Dexter was about before, and you just kind of like don't bat an eyelid now. And this was when it was season 5, this was when they still had the same writers. So they fucking got long-term memory loss. The one thing I did find interesting about the finale though, was the last kill Dexter did, was Deb. And how ironic it played because of Dexter's humanization, his last kill was a mercy kill. He killed his sister, but in the same way he disposed of his other victims. Didn't chop her up, but Deb would have probably said, fuck you, you motherfucker, if she was still alive. And then he rides off into the storm, which is kind of like, that's kind of like a fantasy novel. This isn't a fantasy novel, this is a thriller. And then kind of survives it and wakes up in a log cabin, which was the cop-out moment. So, you know, classic Sopranos ending. It was basically the original concept of the ending was going to be that Dexter was going to meet his maker on the state execution table.